Hi friends, strangers, internet. My name is Emily Hanhan. I love colorful makeup and colorful language. So today I want to talk about, am I a clown? Did I buy the Menagerie Cosmetics Pastel Pup palette even though I have all of the colors in my collection? There was something about this palette. As soon as it was revealed, as soon as the colors inside were revealed, I just wanted it. Wait, oh, let me clarify. I put in two shadows from Menagerie Cosmetics down here. This is a white and this is a black. Just let's pretend like that's not different. But as soon as I saw this color story, I just wanted it. I have a first impressions review about the palette that I will have linked in the description box and in a card. So I'm filming kind of late at night and my cats are absolutely running through my apartment. So if you hear any weird background noises, that's all them. So when this palette was revealed, and it has a white and a black shadow here that I have popped in some Cleona shadows instead. But with the other colors, when they were revealed, I just wanted it. But almost as soon as I placed my order, the thought popped into my mind. I probably am a clown because I might put money against myself that I already have these colors in my collection. I'm not hoping for that, but I do think it's a possibility. The other reason why I wanted to do this video, besides clowning myself, is that I thought it could be helpful for anyone that has not gotten their palette, doesn't want to, deal with the quick sellout of it right now, and is just itching for some pastels, but maybe there are other places that you can buy it from, or perhaps you have things in your collection that have a similar feel to these colors or certain colors. So I have pulled out not only all of my singles, I also have all of the 9-pan Colourpop palettes that I own, and the Makeup Revolution Tasty Avocado palette, because it does have a couple of greens in there that felt like they might be reminiscent. I also have the old Sigma Creme de Couture palette, depotted. So we're just going to swatch and play. And I also wanted to say I pulled in my shooting much tighter today, so my camera is much closer to the tabletop surface. I am always happy to hear anyone's input, because for those of y'all that love these overhead style videos, you really love them. So let me know if you have any input on that. So because Belly Slide and Ice Cap have a little bit of color overlap, I'm gonna start with Cuddle, go through, do Ice Cap and Belly Slide kind of together, and then I'll also do Snowball, just so you know. So we're gonna talk about mattes and the shimmer. Let me clear it off and pull out anything that I have that's pink for Cuddle. Oh, dang. I forgot I had these mixed up. Okay. So first up, I'm going to start with Cuddle. As I discussed, I'm going to do the order a little off from the palette order. We're swatching over just bare skin, no primer, no white base. That is Cuddle. It's a very like bubblegum powder pink. This is Give Me Glow Bubblegum. There's not really anything else in my pink collection of singles that I think is gonna work. But just so you can see a comparison with a softer, peachier tone, this is from Menagerie Cosmetics as well, but it was from a previous palette. I am going to swatch the pale pink from the Sigma Creme de Couture palette. As you can see, Creme de Couture, from my memory, was much softer in pigment than the Pastel Pup. So on that alone, I'm happy with my decision to purchase. I'm also going to swatch the brighter pink. And then just out of curiosity, I'm going to swatch the pinky purple along with the two purples in the Colourpop palette. Again, so you can see those differences. I don't have the pink, I don't have any of the pink Colourpop palettes, so I'm not really sure. I don't have any of the pink Colourpop palettes, so I'm not really much of a help. Although, as well, this is Poodle from Colourpop. Much more like, I think of this as like a makeup-y pink color. So I think that's all of the pinks in my collection, period, or that are even slightly close. I would say of any of these, if you wanted a recommendation, perhaps the Give Me Glow Bubblegum would be my main recommendation. Again, it's more vibrant, but it's kind of similar, and they sell these as singles. These are typically a larger pan single. I've repressed mine, but you could pick this up if you were just craving maybe one bubblegum pink color. And again, that's Cuddle and all of my comparisons. Okay, I'm going to clean up my arm and I'll be back to do, maybe we can do Snack and Fishy kind of together at the same time. So next up is Snack. A really pretty peachy color. Definitely have a couple that I want to compare for this one. Okay, first, this is that same Menagerie color I swatched earlier. This is Lethal Cosmetics Remission. These next two I'm going to swatch are definitely different, but I just want to show you. Colored Rain Crushin'. And yet another Menagerie color. Now what I'm gonna do is squish in Colourpop just peachy mattes here, and then we'll continue on with the fishy comparison from there, because I think this palette might fit both categories, but I have no idea. I've been rearranging my palette, so I don't know if this is in any kind of order. So I'm not giving you names, but if you have the Just Peachy palette, you'll kind of know. Okay, I think those are the only three I want to swatch from here. So what we're gonna do, I'm going to continue swatching oranges and peaches I have, and then I'll end the arm with Fishy. This is the orange from Sigma. This is Cycle from Lethal Cosmetics. This is Sorbet from Luxie Beauty. And Tangelo Tint from Coastal Scents. And then finally, I will swatch Fishy. Can you see that? Oh wait, did I swatch it off camera? Sorry about that. Okay, so this is Fishy. I don't really think I have anything close to Fishy, whereas I do think that Snack is pretty similar to Cycle from Lethal Cosmetics. So, okay, so that's Snack and Fishy. Snack and Fishy with all the comparisons in between. So I'm gonna move on to Sunbathe, and we'll switch it up from all of the peachy colors on camera to some yellows. I'll be right back. Okay, so next up we have yellow, one of my favorite colors. So in the palette we have Sunbathe, which is one of the most softly pigmented yellows. very white base. I actually have a couple of yellows from Menagerie that I can compare these to because I picked up one with my order. I picked up these three with my order, and then I have one from the Faro palette and more over here. So let's start with Drought, which I believe was in their lion themed palette. And honestly, it's that's kind of a bummer because I think that Drought would fit in this palette just fine over Sunbathe, and it has just a little bit more pigment to it. This is the third Menagerie yellow that I have, much more pigmented. So I'm going to quickly swatch the Sigma yellow, which I remember being pretty disappointing. Yeah. This Sigma palette, this is the Creme de Couture palette. This is not the first version, which would have been quite a bit older. This was the relaunch when it went, you know, came back out for another limited edition amount of time. So it's a couple of years old, but it's not that old. But these shadows are just not impressive at all. Now, let's swatch a few indies over here as well. So this color is Capri from Menagerie Cosmetics. Probably closer to Drought, maybe a little bit more vibrant. And then this is Helios from Lethal Cosmetics. Now, I only have one other matte yellow and it is pretty clearly much more vibrant, but I'm going to show it to you just so you see it. Yeah, it's my favorite yellow ever, but you know, it's not really within the theme. So this color is not at all like Ice Bath or like Sunbathe, but I just wanted to show you the difference. So this is a very green yellow that I have from Lethal. I think it's Relapse. Yes, Relapse. Just so you can see the difference. And then this is one from Colourpop. That is Deja Vu. So I'm going to stop here. These are all the yellows that I have that fit the bill. And we're going to move on to greens. Both Flipper and Iceworm, and I have some things to talk about. Okay, so green is a little tougher because there's a lot of palettes to reference. So let's start with Flipper. It's really fun. Now, I should have swatched Lime right before I wiped off my arm, but I'm just gonna swatch Lime from the Tasty Avocado palette. Yeah, it's definitely more of that yellow-green color. And then let's just go through Tasty Avocado. The other color that I thought might be accurate for Flipper is Guacamole, but maybe not. Huh, okay, that's interesting. Well, I'm gonna take you off the camera just to save some space. Now, let's dig into the Colourpop Just My Luck palette. Again, I'm thinking maybe just chances are none of the other colors really feel like a good match, and even then, chances are I might go more with Iceworm. So we'll try to keep that on the arm so we can compare. I'm gonna swatch this other one. Yeah, no, actually, I'm not. It's much darker. So that's really all from the green palette because it's a pretty not pastel palette. Let's swatch this green from Sigma. It's actually a nice green from Sigma, but it is more saturated than Flipper. Now, in terms of singles, so I have a couple from Sydney Grace. This one is definitely more blue, but I thought I would just show you. This is Seafoam. This one is Sea Breeze. Okay. This is Meadow, which I'm pretty sure is going to be more vibrant. Yeah, no, that's not similar at all, but you can see it. And then Void from Lethal. It's so interesting doing these swatches because I don't feel like I have many dupes right now. Yes, these all look different in my eyes. Okay, do I have any other? I don't think I have any other single green mattes that really match that. But I feel like I'm gonna have a lot of this weird soft turquoise color. So we will clean off the arm and go back into Ice Worm and do those comparisons. So next up is Ice Worm. This is like green blue in pastel, although it's more green than I remember now that I swatched that. Dang, okay. So first up, I'm gonna compare Guacamole from Makeup Revolution. And the palest green in the Just My Luck palette is actually pretty similar, which also shows me that the Just My Luck palette is a blue-green palette and not a green palette. There are a few from the Sigma palette that we will swatch. Again, these are just very light pigment. Yeah, these are very, very similar. I have two teal shades from Menagerie that I think are from Dragon Child and Feral. I'm just gonna swatch them so you can see. They are very, very similar, even though they look a little different in the pan. Two more that I think are gonna be too dark and too off, but I just wanna show you, just in case. This is Scuba Diver from Sydney Grace. Oh yeah, no. Totally off base here. And this is Muscle Beach from Colourpop. Still pretty off base with this. There's one color that we swatched earlier from my green and yellow palette that I want to throw back on my arm real quick like. And this one is Seafoam from Sydney Grace. Yeah, no, we're still different. Okay, so very interesting. I would say Just My Luck has Ice Worm in it, and if you have the old Creme de Couture, you have Close Colors. So those are my comparisons for Ice Worm. We'll do another arm wipe and go into the blues for Aquatic. Okay, so next up we have Aquatic. Aquatic is like a very baby blue, pretty basic color in terms of it leans mostly blue, not too green or purple. Let's see. Let's go in with Colourpop. So in Colourpop there are two kind of lighter blues. I don't think these names are correct because again, I rearrange these palettes all the time, but we'll swatch them at the same time. That's kind of similar. Now let's swatch the two blues from the Sigma palette. Again, very soft and powdery. Yeah, I don't know why this palette had both of these colors. There's a couple of singles that we're gonna run through. The first is Perfect Storm from Sydney Grace. This is a beautiful color. It's so pretty. You can kind of like sheer it out, but it's not quite as white based as Aquatic. This is another Menagerie Cosmetics color. This is Celason, I believe. It was in the Whale Song palette, I think. And there's nothing else really in this palette that's even gonna come close. These colors are much more vibrant and more green based. Everything else is much more saturated than this one, but those are my blues. I would say if you have Blue Moon, the palest blue in there is fine. It's a good call. If you want something slightly more saturated, I would say Perfect Storm from Sydney Grace, which is this one, would be a good call. I really like the Sydney Grace matte formula. Let's go through and do Ice Cap and Belly Slide together. Now, next up, as I said, I have Ice Cap and Belly Slide. So I'm gonna put Ice Cap at the top of my arm and Belly Slide kind of at the bottom. I'm quickly re-swatching a Perfect Storm, and Celason. So you can kind of see how blue those colors are and how kind of truly periwinkle this color is. I have two colors that are very similar in different formulas. This is Piece of Cake from Colourpop, which it's a little bit more muddy than Ice Cap. This is Jet Set from Colored Rain. It's a vivid pigment though, so I don't think you're going to be able to kind of sheer it out. Maybe if you paired it with white, but I don't know. I don't think so. Now we're going to go into like all of the other purples that I have. I'm just for giggles, I'm going to swatch Cutie, another Colored Rain vivid pigment. Yeah, much more pinky purple. And then let's swatch these three. So we have Release from Lethal Cosmetics. Not at all a match. This is Allium from Menagerie, way more pigmented. And then this was from Dragon Child, and I thought this might be a winner chicken dinner, but as you can see, it's a more murky, grungy purple than Belly Slide or Ice Cap. We'll just swatch this pale purple again. Again, more pink. And same with Fan Fiction. Yeah, that's also pink. Again, this is an example of not having these colors in my collection, surprisingly. So again, this is Ice Cap, this is Belly Slide, and lots of random ones in the middle. So that is the last matte I'm going to be comparing. We're going to return to my blue palette and dip into these shimmers to compare with Snowball. Be right back one more time. I wanted to quickly show you, in case you were curious, most of these shimmers in the Avocado palette are much more turquoise than Snowball. So I'm not going to compare them, but I did think about them because they're interesting little shimmers. Speaking of turquoise, I have my Mostly Turquoise palette on backup. I don't think we'll need it though. And also, speaking of shimmers that don't really match, the blue palette from Colourpop, the shimmers are much different in tone. I'm just going to show you on my finger so you can see. So again, we're going to close this one up, but I did think about it. So Snowball, this is their trefoil. It has a flakiness to it. but as with a lot of shimmers, if you use your finger to smooth it out, it does get shinier. In case you did not watch my video, I do think this swatch makes this shadow look much more stunning than what it really looked like on my lid. But I think that's also because I was expecting something a little bit more shifty, and this is just kind of like icy blue. But, you know, that's review info, not swatch info. We're just gonna jump right in. I don't think this is gonna be a match, but this is, yeah, no, this is more gold. This is Aqua Vitae from Menagerie Cosmetics. I have a lot of icy blues from Cleona. This is Arctic Fox. Next up, I have 3 of the Candy Exploders from Duping Cosmetics. Nerds, Everlasting Gobstoppers, and Swudge. Nerds is much more yellow, green, blue. Everlasting, oh, I'm gonna redo that swatch. Everlasting Gobstoppers also has green in there, so it looks a little different. Swudge, oh, I got dark color in both of those swatches, I'm sorry. Swudge kind of reminds me of Snowball, but it's a little bit more purple. It has that purple flip to it. This is a JD Glow shadow. It is a really pretty blue if you're looking for something that's almost a little smoother, more of a metallic texture. This one is Calyx from Cleona. These are probably gonna be darker, but I wanna show you. This is Ascension, yeah, from Lethal Cosmetics, and Elven Blue from Coastal Scents. Let's see. I pulled 3 from my turquoise palette that felt like they were similar, but maybe not. We'll see. Cryosphere from Cleona. It has kind of a similar flakiness to Snowdrift, but not quite as foiled and shiny for sure. And Snowdrift, yeah, that's not the same. I'm not gonna swatch that one actually. Skip Snowdrift. This is an interesting activity, especially with Snowdrift especially with Snowball, because again, on the eyes, I did not feel like it was terribly impressive, but I do want to try it again now on a more simple eye, because I think maybe it was just being overwhelmed by the other colors. I also think that the 3 Divina shades that I showed are much more impactful on glitter glue, and the Candy Exploders would be what I would go for if you're looking to buy some single shimmers that are pastel and duochrome. There's a whole collection of them, but they're really, really stunning, especially over, you definitely want to do it over a glitter glue. But the shiftiness of them, the blue to purple, green to blue, green to gold with the flash of blue, is super beautiful and works over different color shadows too. And you're probably hearing Tyrion, my asshole cat, running around like an absolute banshee. Welcome to my life. Since the banshee is at full play right now, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. And this has been an interesting and successful experiment, because I really discovered that these colors are more unique to my collection than I thought. And I'm happy that I kind of have proof. I have some dupes, but not too many. I'm a little bummed at the replication within the brand, because they have some colors they've kind of duped themselves on, but in the grand scheme of things, not too bad. I also am even more impressed with this formula after swatching these again, because I loved these at one point in time. I thought they were pastel, but I thought, you know, they worked. And now, after really swatching and using these colors like almost a half dozen times, I might be able to let you go, which is good. Very good. So that's that. let me know if this was helpful, because you know, I don't own a lot of the traditional pastel palettes. I don't have the Shroud Creepy Cute or the Nomad Tokyo Harajuku palettes, but I do have a lot of colors, and I do hope it was helpful. I kind of still stand by the fact that I do appreciate this palette and I'm enjoying it, but if you're thinking about color and you're not sure if you are like actually wanting pastel formulas, I might recommend you look at Lethal, because Lethal's formula has a buildable like feeling to it, where I think you could do a soft wash of color that would feel more pastel, or build it up. And I think they have other colors. They do have other colors that I don't own, especially the Sky and Land collection they did. I'm pretty sure they have like a pink, a periwinkly purple color, like, so my collection isn't the full, you know, reference point. Anyway, if nothing else, I hope this was just some relaxing hangout time, playing and swatching and getting dirty with eyeshadows. Feel free to leave any requests you have for overhead style videos or any other kind of videos on my channel in the comments. Don't be shy with any questions. I would love to hear from you. I hope you're all taking care of yourself. As I've been saying lately, drink some water, feed yourself, talk to somebody that you love and maybe miss, or don't talk to anybody at all, and cocoon in that blanket and enjoy some peace and quiet. Whatever you need, I hope you're able to prioritize yourself today so that you can make that happen. Thank you for spending a bit of your day with me. If you want to support me a little further, I have a Patreon. I'm also on Instagram and Twitter at Nomnivorous. And otherwise, hopefully I'll see you again real soon. Bye, friends.